So the second screen is becoming a bit of a buzzword at the moment. Basically, what's happening is as people are becoming more and more into their phones and their social networks and that kind of stuff, they're watching TV less. So people are sitting in front of the TV and they've got the TV on, but they're engaging on their phone. So whatever's on the TV is the first screen, and whatever's on the phone is the second screen. And we're seeing this more and more with sporting events, talent shows. If you look at idols, etc., the content is coming to them in a broadcast format. So they aren't able to interact with their TV. But what they will do is they'll interact on their phone. So they'll comment and they'll share stories and they'll watch highlights and they do all sorts of cool stuff on their phones. Which is actually, while it complements the first screen, it's a distraction, so it presents an interesting opportunity / dilemma for the current players. So when you're talking about the second screen, you're dealing with four major players. The first and the most important is the fan. It's the person who's watching the rugby game, or who's engaging with idols or X Factor or whatever it is. They're the single most important person in the entire equation, because everything is produced for them. The second player is the rights holder. So someone like FIFA, if you're talking about World Cup, they're the rights holder. They own the rights to put on that event, and they can sell that rights to broadcasters, who are the third party, right? So the broadcasters are someone like SABC or MultiChoice, or if overseas, you're looking at BBC or Sky, etc. And the broadcasters will go to the rights holders and they'll negotiate for the opportunity to be able to share the sporting event, etc., with the world. And then the fourth and final player is the sponsor. Generally, someone needs to pay for it all, and that's where the broadcasters and the rights holders will go, and they'll get a sponsor on board, and they'll say, listen, we've got this sporting event, we've got this massive opportunity to share it with millions of people. Do you want to associate your brand with it? And then the sponsor comes on board. So those are the four key players in the traditional broadcasting environment. What's interesting is that the biggest dilemma that they face when dealing with a second screen is that they all are used to simply being in a broadcast environment where they push content and people, and they haven't yet adapted successfully to an environment where the fans will speak back, where the fans want to engage, where they want content that is beyond the broadcast, the TV content or that radio content. They actually want digital content, and they want it quick, and they want to be able to engage with it. The opportunities that are available for unlocking the second screen are being able to tie together what people are seeing on the first screen and what they're engaging with on the second screen. And right now, it's the biggest missed opportunity. So there are millions of conversations happening online, on Facebook, on Twitter, across Instagram, etc. All of these conversations happening around these big events, like the World Cup final, the biggest social media event in history. From a sports perspective, it got more tweets than anything else. Except those people it's very random, the conversation, and it's very broad, and it's not necessarily focused. So soccer is the ultimate winner, and the fans are having these incredible conversations, but the broadcaster misses out and the sponsor misses out, which is an issue for both of them. So the way that we're encouraging people to solve this problem, and we cover it in the ebook, is the way we're encouraging people to solve the problem is, first and foremost, is put the fan first, right? They are hands down the most important person. The problem that the guys are facing right now is that the broadcaster and the sponsor and the rights holder can't compete with a guy who pauses a sporting event, rewinds it on his PVR, films his TV, and posts that to YouTube and goes, here's that Springbok try that everyone was talking about. That video will be loaded up onto YouTube within 30 seconds of it happening on the live TV. And then that clip, which is a poor quality clip by some random user, that clip is what's getting all the attention online. That's the content that's being shared, that everyone's engaging around. And chances are the broadcaster's missing out on the opportunity and the sponsor's missing out on the opportunity. So we have to put the fan first. You can't make their experience worse. You actually have to make the experience better. So the broadcasters, the rights holders, and the sponsors need to figure out, if you want to win, first and foremost is fan comes first. Win with the fans, and then you'll win online. The second thing is that those three major parties, they have to collaborate. They have to sit down and look at the contracts that they currently have, which are based on probably laws and negotiations that were conducted 10 years ago before social media. They're going to have to go through those and make sure that those contracts support this digital world where the guys can collaborate. we know from having investigated that very few of the contracts deal with this, that none of those three players know how to deal with highlights. So the brand turns around and says, you know what, they want to run an online campaign around the sporting event. Can they show highlights clips? And then the broadcaster's going, well, no, because those rights belong to us. And the rights holder's going, but we want it to reach more people because that's how it serves us better. And so they go round in these circles. So the guys have to first put fan first, second, sort out your legal contracts and make sure that you're building agreements between the three parties that facilitates this online content creation and online conversation generating content.